Let's talk about the user interface, also known as the UI, or the UE. This UE is, think of it as a HUD, a heads-up display. It's something that provides information that it's an interface. It's not really part of the game, it just shows up in the game. If you have a heads-up display, yes, that would be interactive. In the old days of Unity, they used what was called a graphical user interface. And this was a little harder to script. So the user interface makes it easier. It's just user friendly. And let's just start and do this. So what we want to do is create a couple of text items, one that will keep score and one that will show that you've won the game. We have no losers in this game. It's only a winning game. So we're going to create two UIs, user interface. We're going to create two text user interfaces, one for score and one for the win display. Very simple to do. We're going to show you a new way. I've shown you how to use your menus at the top, and I've shown you how to add components in the inspector, how to right-click. Well, there's even something else. In the hierarchy window, you have a drop-down, and you select the UI and text, and it automatically brings in a few components. And you have to have these components in order for the system to work. So we now have our canvas and our text and our event system. Once again, you must have these in order for this to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the canvas and hit my F key as my mouse is hovered over here. And you see it's a huge canvas item. It's just huge. It's big. It's Goliath. Now I'm going to go back to my third person, select my third person, F key to zoom in. And now we have this text option. And I'm just going to call this one over here score, just for my grins and giggles. And maybe call it score up here. And now it says, where do you want to place me in this game? Where is it that I need to be? Well, I'd like the score to be up at the top here. So we're going to use this little box right here to create that position. And if you select the box once, it gives you these instructions. Shift to set the pivot, Alt to set the position. Well, guess what? I want to do both of those. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key and my Alt key, and you can see that it provides placement of this. So I'm going to put it up in the corner, as we stated. So when this displays, when this text displays, I actually want it to be a little bit, because it'll just be right there in the corner, right snap dag. So I want to give it a little distance. So I'm going to move it 10 meters to the left and 10 meters down. I'm going to give it, I'll leave it as an Arial. Now here's something I want to tell you about. If you're going to use a font, I actually made down here, you'll see a fonts folder. And I brought in some fonts. If you want to change your font from a default font, and Arial is a default font, you must have that font in the folder. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these and just drag it over there. And maybe change the color to a white. And we should be ready to go. So I'm going to select the play option, and hopefully we'll see our score right there. See how it moved over 10 spaces and down? If we'd have left it in the corner, it would have been smack dab on the edge. Now let's do the same exact thing for a win state. You're going to create UI text. It's just going to add a second text. That's all. I did not hit my enter key to accept that score, so I renamed it. Now I'm going to go to my second text, and I'm going to call this win. And down here, say you won. We're going to actually change that somewhere else. So that's just for me to see when I press the play option. Once again, Shift and Alt. And I want to set it in the center, but a little bit down. So let's just think about that. Right now we said it's going to be smack dab in the center. And you have all these spaces. These are actually numbers. Numbers in your positions here. What do you think you're going to do? Think about it. Where would you place it? So we change the color to something bright. And let's go ahead and take a look over here in the wrap mode and the overflow. So the horizontal overflow is something as you're writing. Does it wrap and move down, or does it overflow and move across? So I'm going to go ahead and select the overflow and maybe center it a little bit and put it down at the bottom just to see what happens. So let's go ahead and select play and see how that looks. Wow, as soon as I win, something will happen right here. I still want to make it a little lower. It's still kind of high, but you know what? That's good enough. We're good. That, my friends, is how simple it is to create a text user interface. And we're going to actually bring that text in to a script so it will play automatically. But there are so many other user interfaces that you can take a look at. There are images, buttons. You can create a button to replay, all kinds of stuff, and it's user friendly, far more acceptable than the old style of the GUI.